"We can't breathe" was one of the chants among the thousands of protesters who took to the streets of New York City last night. They echoed the final words of Eric Garner, an unarmed black man who died after police arrested him using a so-called chokehold. The decision by a New York grand jury not to press charges against the officers is the latest legal decision that's fueling protesters who think the US justice system is stacked against black people. Our Washington correspondent Kylie Morris has been amongst the protesters and is now live in New York City now. Kylie.
John, I'm in Times Square, one of the sites of protest last night as the protesters roamed across Manhattan. They were generally peaceful, although there were some clashes with the police, as you'll see in our report, and more than 80 people were arrested. But there's no doubting now that this issue of the inequities faced by black Americans when dealing with the police is really a national issue. Last week in Ferguson, last night in New York, and today the Attorney General has revealed his findings, the result of a Department of Justice inquiry into policing in Cleveland, Ohio, which says that there's been an excessive use of violence there. Cleveland, Ohio, the place where 2 weeks ago a 12-year-old boy carrying an air gun, an African-American boy, was shot and killed by a white policeman, a rookie cop. What happened here yesterday really was an outcome of an expectation that the grand jury looking into the death of Eric Garner would find that there were grounds to charge the white policeman, particularly given the video evidence. But when that didn't happen, there was anger on the streets of Manhattan. The protesters poured into Grand Central Station, surprising evening commuters.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Hundreds rushing in to express their anger at another grand jury decision not to charge a white police officer over the death of an unarmed black man. They staged an impromptu die-in, chanting, "New York is Ferguson, Ferguson is New York."
New York is Ferguson and Ferguson is New York.
Black and white railing against what they see as police brutality.
Black lives matter. Black lives.
What happened to Eric Garner was caught on video.
I'm minding my business, officer. I'm minding my business. Please just leave me alone.
But it didn't persuade the grand jury that Officer Daniel Pantaleo should be charged. It shows police attempting to arrest Eric Garner for selling single cigarettes on the street on Staten Island. The chokehold in New York City, like in the UK, is banned by the police department. You can hear 43-year-old Mr. Garner saying, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe."
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
His death was ruled a homicide by the city's medical examiner, although asthma, heart disease and obesity were also judged to be contributing factors.
I can't breathe! I can't breathe!
Last night, protesters, many of them allied to the Occupy movement, lambasted police with a full frontal verbal assault. Unable to provoke a reaction, they climbed out of Grand Central Station onto the streets of Manhattan. At one point, shutting down the West Side Highway. So it's peaceful, but it's tense, as you just saw the police rushing forward to try and push back certain members in the crowd. We don't know why. Now they've let the crowd through again. There's really a sense of the protesters playing cat and mouse with the police, moving block by block through the city with the police in pursuit.
Get out of the way, cameras, get out of the way.
Every single week is somebody else, another black boy or girl or woman or child is being killed, and we're doing nothing about it. That's a problem in this country. We need to fix that. We need to fix that quick.
The first thing that needs to happen is an acknowledgement by these police and this city and this country that the way black Americans are treated, it's still not fair.
In Harlem, at a press conference ahead of the protests, Eric Garner's wife gave her reaction to the grand jury decision.
He shouldn't have been killed in that way. He shouldn't have been killed in any way. He should be here celebrating Christmas and Thanksgiving and everything else with his children and his grandchildren. And he can't. Why? Because a cop did wrong. Somebody that get paid to do right did wrong, and he's not held accountable for it.
The city mayor, the father of a mixed-race family, expressed his sorrow and determination to reform a service that threatens the lives of young men, even his own son Dante, because of the colour of their skin.
We've had to literally train him, as families have all over this city for decades, in how to take special care in any encounter he has with the police officers who are there to protect him.
But we shouldn't be teaching our children that they should be afraid of New York City police officers, because we are the ones. We too are fathers and mothers who go out in that street. We are the ones that are protecting our children, your children, all the children from the criminal elements. That's who our sons and daughters should be afraid of.
You serve us! You serve us!
At another New York City landmark last night, Times Square, the chant rang out, "You serve us."
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
In this place where America's lights are brightest and voices the loudest,
Hands up!
the urgent demand for a system that costs so many black lives to change.
Kylie Morris in New York.